Hey, welcome back to Album April. It's April 2nd, and today I listened to What's Going On by Marvin Gaye, which is the greatest album in the whole world, at least according to Rolling Stone. Yes, right now this sits atop of their 500 albums ever made list. What's Going On was actually released in the same year as yesterday's album, Led Zeppelin 4, 1971, and this is a concept album about the state of America in the early 70s with things like civil unrest, the Vietnam War, environmentalism, things like that. This album has a very good reputation. I've heard it used as a positive example of a singer going political. So, question number one, what was my first impression of this album? It was definitely a lot less angry than I was expecting it to be. I knew that this was political. I think I was expecting it to kind of be more like a protest album, a lot more fight the power. And while there are certain parts of it where it does get angry, in a lot more ways, it's kind of philosophical about the whole thing. Now, this could entirely be me just reading too far into things, but I have noticed that neither the album nor the song, the title, What's Going On, has a question mark in it, which makes me think less that this is a question, what's going on, as much as it's just, the state of things, what's going on. And apparently the character that Marvin Gaye is playing is a Vietnam veteran who just got home. And I knew that it was not very easy for Vietnam veterans when they got back to America. The vibe I got from this album is it's almost like someone he's having a conversation with somebody at a party, like a fancy party. Maybe it's his welcome back party, and it's him just talking with someone. There's fancy music. A lot of these songs have a very warm atmosphere. It's I don't want to say it's casual, but it's comfortable. It's conversational. Which does match up with the theme that's brought up in a lot of the songs, that people need to come together, talk to each other, and understand each other if they want things to get better. Most of the songs in this album have that very jazzy, loungy feel to it, except for the album closer, Inner City Blues, and maybe this is almost like the walk home after the party. I'm sure hundreds of people far more qualified than me have made their own analysis of what exactly this album is trying to convey. But I would say that overall it makes more sense as a coherent album than yesterday's album, Led Zeppelin 4. Out of all of these songs, my favorite is Right On, which is one of the last tracks on the album. It's the longest, and I will admit there was a problem with it at the beginning where the mixing was, I could not understand what he was saying. There was a guero in my right ear the entire time going and I could hear that clear as day, but I couldn't really make out what Marvin Gaye was saying. But then things evened out, and for the rest of the song, it was really good. It had different parts, it had different little motifs in it, and the main thesis of that song seemed to be, whoever you are, wherever you are, if you're living your best life and you're trying to help people and just add love to the world, keep doing what you're doing. Marvin Gaye was a deeply spiritual man, and he talks about that on this album, and I think the main thesis is love God, love people. And I wouldn't say that I disliked any of the songs on this album, but if you were to twist my arm, I guess I would say that my least favorite was Save the Children. The whole call and response sort of thing, where it was he'll say a line and then he'll sing a line, that kind of got old and it seemed a little gimmicky, but I didn't dislike any of the songs on this album. And lastly, does this album hold up? Yes, absolutely yes. This is a timeless sort of thing. It's not dated to the early 70s. I heard a lot of things in this album that absolutely apply to the current day. Things about war and social unrest and environmentalism and trying to make a world better for your children. It's a pretty decent way to spend 35 minutes. All right, I'll see you guys tomorrow.